language you had heard him use before?
No, no, that's why I was surprised, because I said, like, I don't know that person that would talk that way, and that he would say that kind of a stuff in private. I heard many different stuff, boys talk. The boys, the way they talk when they grow up and they want to sometimes show each other, oh, this and that, and talking about the girls. But yeah, I was surprised, of course.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Melania Trump, of course. And remember to tune in tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern for the Joe Pag Show here on Newsmax TV to watch the exclusive interview Joe had with Donald Trump today. That's 6 p.m. Eastern, right before the Steve Malzberg Show at 7. Do not miss it. Rejoining me on the Malzberg panel, Tom Borelli, Ph.D., Dr. Tom Borelli, contributor for Conservative Review, and Brent Budowsky, a Green Bay Packers fan, New York Yankee fan, writer for The Hill, and former aide to Senator Lloyd Bentsen. So let me ask you, Brent, did you watch Melania last night, and how do you think she did?
I think she did fine. I have a very genuine human sympathy for Melania Trump. I have never said a word against her, and I won't now. She probably felt, if you want to know the truth, exactly the way Hillary Clinton felt when she read about Bill in the 1990s. What I will say, though, and it is an important point, that Donald Trump was on tape bragging that he was sexually molesting women for years. His defense, speaking about frauds, was that he was lying when he was bragging about molesting women. I have total sympathy for Melania Trump. I thought she did fine.
Yeah. You can't really believe that Hillary Clinton read about Bill Clinton in the 90s. She knew all about Bill Clinton for a long, long, long time. I'm sure. That's my opinion.
I probably felt the same way that Melania felt.
All right, but don't say she found out by reading in the papers. Come on. She lived with the guy.
Well, I don't really care. That's not the important, whether she read about it in the paper or found out about it somewhere else. I'm sure she felt exactly the way Melania felt. I have human sympathy for both wives put in that situation.
Yeah, well, there's a slight difference, though, Brent.
Should be condemned for what they did.
Brent, there's a
no,
slight
don't make a difference, pal. Donald Trump bragged about
Tom,
molesting women on tape.
All right, Brent.
Tom,
see, one thing about the progressives, they can't tell the difference between words and actions. This is always shockingly amazing to me.
The difference between...
Well, nine women say Donald Trump.
All right,
women say
3 weeks before the election.
Wait,
right.
Guys, Tom, to you.
Sorry.
The difference between Melania and Hillary is that Hillary and company, Nuts and Sluts defense, George Stephanopoulos talked all about this stuff. We know all about it. There were private eyes hired to destroy the women. I don't see Melania taking on all these women and one by one calling them stalkers and crazy and this and that and hiring private eyes. I think that's a difference.
Right, because, one, you have business people, one are political operatives that are just driven by power. And they will say anything and do anything for power. We've seen that throughout the whole Clinton lives. And God forbid she gets in the White House, we're going to have more and more of the same, really, treachery against the American people.
877 Newsmax, 877-639-7629. Let's get to the phones with Brent and Tom. And let's say hello to Mike in Franklin Square, New York. Hello, Mike. Welcome aboard.
How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
What can we do for you, Mike? You're on.
Oh, I'm on the air. Oh, yes, sir. I was just listening to this gentleman, Budowsky, that you're speaking to.
Well, Brent is here, so say hello to him.
Hello. How you doing, Mr. Budowsky?
Hi.
Let me explain something first, all right? Well, I'll give you a blunt description of you, all right? I'm approximately maybe 10 years younger than you, maybe. But the bottom line is, I'm not a clown.
All right, Brent, there's no need to, Brent, Tom, Mike, I don't want you calling my guests names, really. Let's go on to someone else or...
I've been called worse, don't worry.
Yeah, but come on, I'm 10 years younger than you and you're a clown? What does that mean? Let's go to Jeff from San Bernardino, Ohio. Hello, Jeff. Jeff, going once. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir, you're on.
Hi. people say they have trouble understanding how Hillary's head works. All they have to do is read Niccolo Machiavelli, The Prince. She is so Machiavellian that she's easy to figure out, and that's where all her sneakiness comes from. She uses his playbook.
Well, some might also say she uses the Solinsky playbook more so than being Machiavellian, but maybe there's a little of both. What say you, Brent?
I think Machiavelli is very commonplace in politics and is no stranger to the Clintons or the Trumps or anybody else, unfortunately.
What about Solinsky?
Most people who use his name don't know who he was.
Oh, well, I'm using his name, and I know
Clinton,
exactly who he was.
The problem, look, no, the problem with Hillary Clinton is not that she is some kind of a community organizer from the left. The problem is, I have written this publicly, and I would say Donald Trump has the same problem. They have a Stockholm syndrome of spending too much time around the wealthy, okay? But I will tell you, I deplore that what was done to Hillary Clinton by Bill Clinton. I deplore what was done against Melania Trump by Donald Trump. I can't imagine what it's like to hear your husband on tape in his voice.
All right, we've been through this. We're trying to answer the callers. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm an equal opportunity deplorer of crimes against women.
All right, and I applaud that. And if anybody could prove that there were any crimes against Donald Trump by these women, bring it on. I'd like to see it. Jeff,
well, there's 9 of them that are being brought on right now.
Really?
And there'll probably be more by tomorrow.
Didn't they?
And how many were discredited by their own family members?
None. You want the story on the family member that discredited
I'm not going to get into the weeds here. Okay, so you're going to discredit the family member.
You don't want to call him a credible discreditor. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you about the woman on the plane who said in her interview on TV that if only Trump, now remember, she was sexually assaulted by an octopus, Donald Trump, against her will, and she had to get out of there. But she said if he had only stayed above the waist with his hands, I might not have been so bothered. Now, what does that mean, Brent?
I don't care.
Yeah, I know you don't care. You either didn't hear that and you're shocked, or you think I'm making it up. She said it.
Now, Steve, I'll leave it at this. 9 women have come
I'm telling you
forward,
about one of the 9. We can go through them one by one.
Let me just finish one sentence, and then you can go on and attack the Clintons. 9 women have come forward. And I'm not going to evaluate any of their cases, but A, I suspect they're not all lying.
Okay.
And B, I'd like to see you deplore actions against women from Trump, just as you deplore actions from women from Bill Clinton.
Okay, let me answer that. Let me answer that. I have, with every time I've talked about these Trump women, I have always said sexual assault or sexual impropriety against any woman is a crime, and whoever did it should go to jail. That's what I believe. Having said that, we could discuss allegations. Let's move on, Tom, to the debate tomorrow. The debate is tomorrow. What will happen, and what does Donald Trump need to do?
Well, I think obviously it's a really important debate. It's, a couple of weeks before the election, and the polls again are getting tight. And what Mr. Trump needs to do is just focus on the issues. Obamacare is a huge issue that many Americans are still suffering from. Hillary Clinton, what's her energy policy versus his energy policy? Stick on the issues. Stick on the fact that a lot of media is in bed with the administration or possible new administration, but Podesta's et al. So it's really important for him just to focus in on the issues and get Americans back to work, because that's what they want.
Brent, same question.
Yeah, I don't agree with the polls are getting tighter. I think Hillary's in a very good position, but I do agree with what he just said completely. I think Trump should focus on the issues, not the conspiracies. I think Hillary should do the same thing and focus on the issues, and we should have at least one debate where both candidates are worthy of the American people, talking about things that affect their lives.
No, I think that's very well said on the part of both of you gentlemen. Brent Budowsky, Tom Borelli, I thank you both, Brent, for being a good sport and answering all the questions, and Tom, always appreciate your input. We'll speak to you both soon. Thank you. Okay, Brent's not going to say thank you until the Green Bay Packers win another game, and I don't know when that's going to be exactly. But I like the Packers. I wish the Packers would win. No, look, I thought we had a very interesting conversation with both Tom and Brent. They're always excellent. I thought Brent defended himself well on the emails. He was willing to answer all those questions. He came on. There were no preconditions, unlike the journalists who present themselves to Podesta. I'm not talking about Brent necessarily. I'm talking about Thrush, for instance, who says, I'm a hack. Are you sure this is okay? To let me know if anything's wrong. There were no preconditions with Brent Budowsky, and frankly, I wouldn't accept preconditions. And he's, just for the record, he never even brought up, you could ask me this, or you could ask me that. That's the kind of guy he is. For whatever else you think about him, politically, that's the kind of guy he is. All right, when we come back, as I like to say, because we do leave and then come back, John Zogby will be here for his take on this whole the election is rigged thing. And give me 5. Yesterday, we brought you Pence. Today, we bring you Kaine. If you could take it, don't go away. We're coming back.